And I'm back. And the other day I got in my Volvo here, and right away when I started it, it was running rough, and I had a check engine light show up. So I got out my little code reader, plugged it in under the dash, and the code I got was the one I'm going to show you right here. And it was for a misfire on cylinder number 5. Okay, so what I did was I went out and I took the cover off where the coils are. I identified coil number 5, and I removed it, and I swapped it with coil number 2, which is a known way to try and figure out if the fault with a coil is actually the coil itself or if it's with the cylinder, which could be the fuel injectors giving a bad delivery of fuel, or you could have a compression issue, for example, in that cylinder as well. So the way to identify a bad coil is to remove that coil and swap it with a known good coil in a cylinder that isn't showing a fault. So what I did was I took out number 5, swapped it with number 2, put number 2 in the 5 spot, number 5 in the 2 spot, started the engine. I got another code. I checked it, and the fault read misfire on cylinder number 2. There's 2 different codes that show up. One says it can be either A through E or 1 through 5. A, B, C, D, E, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same thing. So you'll get a code. It'll say misfire on B, which is cylinder number 2, or misfire on C, which is cylinder number 3, and so on. So anyway, when I swapped them over, I got a misfire on cylinder number 2, so that identifies the coil as the problem. And I went and looked, and I've got a box of old coils here. You know, they're from this car originally, and I've, maybe another car I've got too. So I looked at those, and they're pretty old. There's actually a date code on these coils, especially the original Volvo ones. You can see there's a date code, and it's sort of on the right-hand side of the top of the coil, and it's a number, that's the year. So like some of them would say 01W25. So that would be 2001 week 25. Okay, and that's how you can tell the age of these Volvo coils. So I looked at mine, and some of them are 2001 different weeks, and the others are 2004 different weeks. So they're all over 20 years old. So I looked on Amazon, and you can buy a lot of these aftermarket parts, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. But anyway, I got some pretty good reviews on these aftermarket ones. They should be here today. And what we're going to do is we're going to swap all 5 coils. I'm going to put all these new ones in, and we'll see what happens. Let me take you out there right now, though, and show you where the coils are on this car. So we'll pop the hood here. Okay, so to get that cover out, I loosened it the other day, but to get the cover out, you got to take out a bolt here and a bolt here on this intercooler pipe. Take out the screws that hold this cover in. Okay, and there's another cover here over the timing belt and the last coil. So the way these engines are numbered is this is where the belts are, the belt train, and the end of the crankshaft comes out here. Transmission's on the other side, so it's cylinder number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I had a misfire on number 5, so I undid this bolt right here. It's a 10mm bolt, took that out, disconnected the harness, and I swapped coil number 5 over for number 2, which wasn't giving me any problems, and I put number 2 in number 5. And when I started the engine again and I ran it for a while, I got another code, and when I checked it, it was a misfire on number 2. So the problem followed the coil. So that's the problem, was that coil that was in number 5 was failing. So we've ordered some new coils, and when they arrive here later today, we're going to change all the coils just as once, because a lot of these are quite old. Okay, so let's take a look at those spark plugs. Okay. Okay. These are iridium plugs, so there's no, you don't gap these, you just put them in the way they come. Now let's lay them out in order so we can check the condition of the plugs. Okay, that's the condition of those plugs from 1 to 5. They look okay. I'm just going to put a little dab of anti-seize. Just a little dab on each thread. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5. That's it. Not too tight. Okay. Okay, so here's a new one. And here's the old one. I actually just noticed something on this one. Look at this. Look here. Is that melted? Look at that. Yeah, it looks like this is the defective one. This was number 5. And it's got some, that's some kind of an external bit of plastic that came out, so it must have got overheated or something. So just as well, yeah, that was the one that failed, so maybe the others aren't far behind. Okay, dielectric grease. It's non-conductive. What it does is it prevents a barrier against corrosion and help keep water out of connections. Thing is it's non-conductive, so but it allows the contacts to make contact through it, right? So little dielectric grease on everything on a car doesn't hurt. All the plugs and stuff, you can put a little dab on each thing that you connect, like that. And there's already some that comes with this from the factory, but we're going to put a little dab down in the boot on each one of these as we put them in. Now these replacement ones are non-specific, so they can go in any hole, so we can just put this one down in here. Okay, a little dielectric grease in here on the terminals, like that. One down here. Just make sure you don't pinch any wires under it as you're putting it in. Okay, there it is. Hook up the connector. That. Make sure you're not pinching any wires, like sometimes the wire will want to get trapped under the bottom, like that one is right there. Okay, they're all in, all connected. All right, now what we can do is pick up our tools and then I can start the engine. That seems good. Not vibrating. That seems fine. It says here, double diagnostic trouble codes in this ECU. 1, okay. Read the codes. Ignition coil B, primary, secondary circuit. Okay, we're going to erase that code because that was the one that was in there before. Erase the code. Clear it. Okay. Ignition on with the engine off. Okay. Emission related diagnostic information has been cleared. Okay. Now we're going to unplug this. Okay, everything checks out in here. And I'm just going to put this cover back on. This pipe is loose. So we'll walk that in. Just like that. Alright, and some of these bolts have been fitting loose, so I put a little Teflon tape on them just to help them stay down in the threads. Now another video I'm going to do pretty soon is I'm going to tap these holes and helicoil them, and that way they'll accept the original bolts with the same size thread in it one of these days. There's the cover for the timing belt. All right, snug that down. Tighten too much, but people have a tendency to over tighten stuff like this, and that's what strips them out. Just down in there until it stops. I find the Teflon tape helps for those ones that are compromised. You hold the covers down for now. And the other one right here. There. It's all back together and it's working good. No codes. Okay, let's take this for a drive. See what it does. And I've had the car out for a drive for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and it hasn't thrown a code. It's driving well. And I've been driving the car for about a half an hour, different speeds, and it's got lots of power and no trouble codes have showed up, so I think that's a fix. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this has helped somebody. And we'll see you again here very soon on Everyday Projects.